I worked the graveyard shift at a pilot truck stop off I-80 in Nebraska for 2 years. It's a lonely job. Most of the time it's just you, the hum of the refrigerators, and the occasional trucker coming in for coffee and a shower ticket. It was a Tuesday in February, dead of winter. The wind was howling outside, rattling the glass doors. Around 3:15 a.m., a massive black semi-truck pulled into the lot. It didn't park in the designated truck sleeping rows in the back. Instead, it pulled right up to the front pumps, the ones reserved for regular cars. This happens sometimes. Usually the driver just runs in to grab a snack and leaves. I watched the truck from behind the counter. The engine was idling loud, chugging smoke into the freezing air. 10 minutes passed. No one got out. 20 minutes. Still nothing. I was annoyed. He was blocking 4 pumps. I grabbed my coat and walked outside to tell him to move. The wind hit me like a physical blow. I walked up to the driver's side door. The windows were tinted dark, so I couldn't see inside. I banged on the door. "Hey, you can't park here!" I yelled over the engine noise. No answer. I climbed up on the step to peer through the glass. I cupped my hands around my eyes. The cab was empty. No driver, no passenger. I was confused. I looked around the lot. No one was walking towards the store. The snow was fresh and undisturbed around the truck. There were no footprints leading away from the cab. It was like the truck had driven itself there. Then I heard a sound from the back of the trailer, a metallic clank, like a latch opening. I walked to the back of the rig. The heavy rear doors were slightly ajar. "Hello?" I called out. I pulled one of the doors open. The trailer was empty, cavernous and dark. But then I saw it. Sitting in the middle of the metal floor of the trailer was a single folding chair. And sitting on that chair was a mannequin. It was dressed in a pilot uniform, my uniform. And it was facing the back of the store, directly where I stood behind the register every night. A chill that had nothing to do with the winter air shot through me. I turned to run back to the store. That's when I saw the footprints. They weren't in the snow. They were inside the store. Through the glass front window, I could see wet boot prints leading from the back emergency exit, right up to the counter where I had been standing 5 minutes ago. Someone had driven the truck here as a distraction to lure me out, and while I was investigating, they had slipped in through the back. I locked myself in my car and called the police. They found the truck was stolen from a yard 3 states away. The mannequin was wearing a shirt that had been stolen from our employee locker room a week prior. Whoever it was, they didn't want the money in the register. They wanted me. I work at a rundown gas station on a lonely stretch of highway in Arizona. We don't have indoor bathrooms. You have to ask for the key to use the restrooms around the side of the building. Around midnight, a car pulled up. It was an old, beat-up sedan, rusted out completely. A man got out. He looked like he hadn't slept in weeks, sunken eyes, twitchy movements. He came to the window. "Bathroom key," he mumbled. I slid the key attached to a heavy wooden block through the transaction drawer. He took it without a word and walked around the corner. 30 minutes passed. He didn't come back. Usually, people take 5 minutes tops. I figured maybe he was doing drugs or sleeping. I gave it another 10 minutes, then I went to check. I needed the key back for the next customer. I walked around to the side of the building. The men's room door was shut. "Hey, buddy, you okay in there?" I banged on the door. Silence. "I need the key back." Still silence. I put my ear to the door. I could hear a faint sound. It sounded like scratching. Rhythmic, frantic scratching against tile. Scritch, scritch, scritch. "I'm opening the door." I warned. I used the master key to unlock it. I pushed the door open. The bathroom was empty. The window, a tiny slit high up on the wall, was far too small for a grown man to squeeze through. But he was gone. I looked at the walls. They were covered in writing. Tiny, frantic writing done with a sharp rock or a piece of metal. Thousands of times, over and over, covering every inch of the tile from floor to ceiling. He is under the floor. He is under the floor. He is under the floor. I looked down. The heavy metal drain cover in the center of the floor had been unscrewed and moved aside. The hole was dark, leading down into the septic tank. And then, from the darkness of that hole, I heard a voice. It wasn't the man who had asked for the key. It was a wet, gurgling voice. "Help me." I slammed the door, locked it, and ran. The police arrived and shone lights down the drain. They found the man. He had squeezed himself into the septic tank. He was alive, but he had lost his mind. He kept screaming that he was hiding from the thing in the car. When they checked his sedan, the trunk was filled with duct tape, plastic sheets, and a shovel. He wasn't the victim. He was the predator. And he was hiding because he thought his victim had come back for him. If you work night shift long enough, you get prank calls. Usually it's bored teenagers. But the call I got last July wasn't a teenager. It was 2:45 a.m. The store was empty. The phone rang. "Gas and Go, this is Mike," I answered. "You look tired, Mike," a voice said. It was calm, deep, and sounded very close. I scanned the parking lot. Empty. "Who is this?" "You should drink that coffee before it gets cold," the voice said. I looked down at the coffee I had just poured. I hadn't even taken a sip yet. "Where are you?" I demanded, my grip tightening on the receiver. "I'm closer than you think. Do me a favor, Mike. Look at the camera monitor. Camera 4. I looked up at the security monitors hanging above the counter. Camera 4 covered the back aisle, the one with the automotive supplies and motor oil. It was a blind spot from the register. On the screen, I saw a man standing in the aisle. He was holding a cell phone to his ear. He was looking directly up at the security camera and waving. My heart stopped. The door chime hadn't gone off. I hadn't heard anyone come in. "How did you get in here?" I whispered. "You left the delivery door unlocked when you took the trash out at 1 a.m., he replied cheerfully. "I've been in here for almost 2 hours, Mike. I've been watching you play on your phone. I watched you pick your nose. I watched you count the cash." I dropped the phone. I grabbed the baseball bat we kept under the counter and vaulted over the register. "Get out!" I screamed, running toward aisle 4. I turned the corner, bat raised, ready to swing. The aisle was empty. The back delivery door was wide open, swinging in the night breeze. I ran to the door and looked out into the alley. Nothing but darkness. I went back to the counter to call 911. The phone was still off the hook. I picked it up to dial, but the line was still open. He hadn't hung up. "You're fast, Mike," the voice whispered. "But not fast enough. Check your pocket." I reached into my back pocket. My wallet was gone. "I'll be seeing you," he said, and the line went dead. He had been close enough to pickpocket me while I was distracted. Or maybe he took it from the counter when I wasn't looking. I quit the next day. No job is worth wondering if someone has been standing behind you in the shadows for 2 hours.